Hi, I'm Janna, and welcome to my kitchen. Today we are having chicken piccata, which is very fast, very simple. You probably get it at any of the mainstream Italian restaurants that you're familiar with. And I just want you to know how easy and simple this is to make at home. Very simple ingredients, doesn't take a lot. I've got a preheated skillet here, and I'm going to pour in just enough oil to cover the bottom of my skillet. And this is a kind of a big skillet because I wanted to get it all in one batch. If you don't have this big a skillet, that's okay. I went ahead, and now I'm going to turn it down a little bit. I went ahead and did my other chicken breast for the sake of time, but you can get chicken cutlets, or you can slice your own chicken, skinless, boneless chicken breast to thin. And you do not want to over flour this. But what I did was 15 minutes ahead of time, I sprinkled salt on the chicken and let it set. And what that does is it helps to retain the moisture in the chicken so your chicken doesn't dry out. And so I've got 1.5 pounds of chicken cutlets. And I happen to have some big skinless, boneless chicken breasts, so I cut them thin myself and then I pounded them with a meat pounder. But if you don't have a meat pounder, that's okay. And I just want you to notice how lightly floured these are. I barely even, this is not like you're doing fried chicken. You do not want that much flour on these. And once you get them in your skillet, I would prefer you didn't even move them around like I'm just doing here. There, perfect. 1.5 pounds of chicken breast. And you have to discard this flour. This is not going to be useful for anything. You can't put it in your freezer because our residential refrigerators and freezers just don't get cold enough to prevent bacteria from growing. And these are going to, you can see on the side, this is how you want your fire to be. You don't want it smoking hot. You just want it to be a nice sizzle all the way around your chicken. And this is a very fast, and we're just going to, this is the only time these are going to cook. And it's going to be about 2 to 3 minutes aside, depending upon your stove. See, look at that one's already starting to brown. And we're going to get them just so they're brown. We don't want to overcook them or then they will dry out. So we'll be right back. I'm going to flip them over in just a couple minutes and we'll show you that. Okay, I was going to show you that you can start to see the top is starting to show some moisture coming through. And that's a pretty good indicator. There, nicely browned. You don't want it to be charred dark. Look at nice light brown. And we're going to make sure these are cooked. That part of my pan must not be quite as hot there. 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 I'm going to move this just a little bit. And so I'm going to let these cook until they're all the way through. And then we're going to come back and remove them from the pan. Keep them in our preheated oven at 225 degrees so that they stay warm while our sauce is reducing. And so we're going to come back and do all that. I've got my pasta water already boiling, and the pasta that I have takes 11 minutes. So I'm going to put my spaghetti in about the time I'm starting my sauce, and they should be done all at about the same time. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. Okay, we are back and our chicken is done. I wanted to talk to you about tongs really quick. I had a pair of tongs that I used until I flipped these over. Once I flip my chicken over, I get a clean pair of tongs because I don't want to contaminate, because this is the only time this chicken is going to cook. And so I wanted to make sure that I had healthy food for my family. Here we go. Ooh, look at. I'm going to check that one. That one was just a little bit thicker. get out my instant read thermometer here and go to the center of the chicken, not the bottom of it. There we go. It's so above 165 degrees, so it is done. Just wanted to make sure. Now I'm going to go stick this in my oven, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got my chicken in the oven, and so you see I still have some oil left over from cooking the chicken, and all of those brown bits. When you're removing your chicken from the pan, turn off your heat. I forgot to tell you that before, because you do not want to be distracted even for a second, because you don't want to burn this. This is flavor that's going to help flavor your sauce. So we're going to add 3 tablespoons of olive oil to your pan. Now I'm going to turn my heat back up. There we go. And I've got some shallots here. This is a banana shallot, which is just a larger shallot than, because normally they're about this big, you know, they come in all different sizes. But this is a shallot, and it's in the onion garlic family. It doesn't taste exactly like onion, doesn't taste exactly like garlic. So we've got a 1/4 cup of shallot. If you don't have shallot, you can use onion. I gotta turn my fire down. My pan was still pretty hot. Get all that. Ooh, that smells so good. It has such a unique flavor, doesn't it, Erin? Now I'm going to deglaze the pan here in a second, but I don't want to fry those shallots. My pan was a little hotter than I anticipated, but that's okay. I can always shut my heat off. If you've got an electric stove, you might want to move your pan over if it gets too hot. And I'm going to put this in for just a few seconds until I can smell. I did add some more garlic because our family loves garlic. I added just about a teaspoon of garlic. Look at Now, I'm going to add, and I want to turn my fire back up here in a second because we're going to get all those brown bits off. I've got 2 cups of chicken stock. You can use homemade, you can use the stuff in the box. And we're going to get that. And to help get all of those off, I'm going to stir my spaghetti here. I put it in right before the camera came on because these are going to come out about the same time. Turn my fire back up to medium high. And get this deglazed. That's one thing I like about gas. When it's on, it's on. When it's off, when you turn it off, it's off, other than the heat in your pan. But the chicken stock had cooled it down. And so that's one thing I love about gas cooking. Alrighty. While this is coming to a boil, turn it up a little bit more. You start to see these little bubbles. And see where these rivets are here and how much sauce is in our pan? We're going to kind of go by that, but this is going to reduce by almost half. I'm going to add a little bit of lemon juice. I used 2 lemons here. I took 1 lemon. There's a seed I missed. I took 1 lemon and I cut it in half from stem end to tip, and then I laid it on its side, and then I cut slices. You can do the whole lemon slice too if you like. And so this lemon is going to reduce with the stock, and it's going to actually cook the rinds right in. It's going to give it a very lemony taste. And when this is almost finished, I'm going to add the rest of the lemon juice, because the other lemon I juiced already with the squeezer. And we're going to finish it off with some butter and some parsley. But this is going to reduce Oh my goodness, can you smell the lemon? Ooh. Well, I'm going to watch my pasta here, and we're going to come back, and there it is. It's starting to go down. It doesn't take very long at all. So I'm going to monitor this very closely. You don't want to walk away because it's going to evaporate very quickly. And we like extra sauce at our house over our pasta. I serve this with pasta. You can serve it with anything you want as a side dish. Some people serve it with potatoes. Some people serve it, you know, by itself with a salad or whatever your family does. But we like ours with either angel hair or thin spaghetti. And we're having thin spaghetti today. As you can see, it's not going to take much longer. See you in a few. Okay, you can see that our sauce has reduced by almost half. You can see the line. I didn't stir it too recently here because I do go through with my whisk and stir because I don't want any onions or garlic or anything to stick to the bottom. And I just tasted my sauce, and it's not all the way reduced yet, granted, but I did detect that it needed a little bit of salt because remember, we hadn't salted anything except for the chicken. And so I'm going to salt that. And our family likes pepper, and so I'm going to add some pepper to this, but it's not traditional. And also, this is very optional and definitely not traditional. This is not going to make it sweet. But some of the rinds that you get are super sweet, especially if you use Meyer lemons. We used to raise Meyer lemons, and the rinds are really nice. This lemon happened to be just a little bit more bitter. I detect bitterness. Nobody else in my family does, but I do. And so I'm going to add just a little bit of sugar, maybe a teaspoon. We don't want this to be sweet. And we're just about there. My spaghetti's just about there. I'm going to go drain my spaghetti, and we'll be right back. Look at that beautiful hot pasta just drained out. So that's ready to go. And we are going to finish off our sauce. I've got some cubed butter here. And you can definitely see that that's sauce. You can see that line from right there to down to where it is. It's reduced by about half. And so now I'm going to turn my fire way down. And we are going to add this butter to the sauce. And finish it up here. And if you want to, you can get your chicken from the oven when this sauce is finished. Taste it, make sure it's to your liking, because that's the last chance you're going to get. And if you want to dip your chicken into the sauce and then put it on the plates, you can do that. But sometimes because of the flour on the chicken, it will help to thicken the sauce. But sometimes it'll soak up all of your sauce. So it's whatever your family prefers. We like to use some of the sauce over our pasta and the chicken. And there we go. There's a seed in there. I'm going to pull that seed out. I thought I went through and checked my lemons close, but I missed a few seeds. And that's okay. It's lemon. All right. You can see the nice bubbles of my sauce. I'm going to add a little bit of fresh parsley. Isn't that pretty? And it is finished. So I'm going to go get my chicken, and we're going to plate this up, and we'll be right back. Okay, we've got our plate all made up with our chicken on it, and so now I'm going to plate this up, and look how nicely the sauce has reduced down. Isn't that pretty? I'm going to add a little bit of Parmesan cheese to this, and it is ready to serve. My husband is working today and he just got home from work, and I know that he is ready for some pasta and some chicken piccata. We will see you next time.